Mary's church school that I was going to be a block away announcing a major gift like this. So this is very special for me personally. You know, I'm joined here today, we are joined here today by board members, by staff members, by home buyers, by community leaders, elected officials, longtime volunteers, in front of a Habitat construction site. And I couldn't think of a better place to discuss this incredible $2 million gift than at a construction site on a day when we have volunteers and families out committed to making us a better place for each other. This, as far as we know, is why we were a recipient of this grant, is because of the great work that the people of this organization and this community have done for 23 years. So it's very important that we're here today, and thank you all for showing up for this. I am very admittedly as surprised as anybody when we heard about this gift we're receiving from Mackenzie Scott and the incredible work that she as a philanthropist and author is doing for this nation. We are one of 84 affiliates who is receiving $2 million. $2 million of $436 million that'll go towards fighting injustices in affordable home ownership across this nation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go.
And this is needed more now than ever with the cost of construction, the cost of housing, and the movement of people around our nation where people cannot afford to live in the communities that they grew up in. $436 million is an incredible amount of money, but this gift is much more than the dollar amount. The $2 million that Habitat Newburgh is receiving is much more than the dollar amount. This is also about people showing up like this morning to recognize and to finally stand up and say we need to do better for our neighbors. In a recent article, Mackenzie Scott said, helping any of us can help all of us. That is the truth. When our neighbors come out and say that we cannot afford to live somewhere, we need help, we should stand up and help them. And we as an organization have been doing that for 23 years. We do it better than anybody, if you ask me, but we can always do better. And we can do better for specific communities, communities of color, and the Black community specifically here in Newburgh has experienced a lot of injustice, and we need to correct that as an organization.
All right. All right.
I know I'm very serious about this. This is a very big deal. This is also a day to celebrate. I mean, this is amazing. We're going to have some great plans coming out in the next few weeks. We're excited to discuss them with everyone. We want to take our time and make sure that we are good stewards of these funds, as we are with every dollar that comes into this organization. But again, this is a catalyst, and it is not an end game. We still need so much support. For anyone who hears this, who's here today, who has watched this organization, we can use volunteers, we can use donors, we can use homeowner applicants. Please come out, see the work that we're doing. Clearly there are people who believe in what this organization and what we do, and we need to do better. Thank you all very much, and I'd like to introduce our board president, Paul Barothy, to say a few words.
All right. We out here.
I'll reiterate what Matt said. Thank you all for being here. It's incredible to see so many nice faces and all smiles and sun. You know, it was only a couple of weeks ago we were all standing in the street for the Celeste Bloomer House, which was really a great event. You know, from the board perspective, we're going to be working hard on what these funds do in the future. You know, we really have three things that we're concentrating on. One, which is continuing the mission of the organization. It's been a remarkable 23 years, and we have to propel that into the future. So we have a strategic plan, and the funds will absolutely go to support that strategic plan and also stabilize the organization for the long term. But I want to highlight something else that doesn't always get talked about, and is something that we are talking about from the board, is that Habitat is a global entity. Okay, we support and we tithe to organizations in other countries, and while we are getting $2 million, part of that $2 million contribution is also going to be going to those countries that we support on an international basis. So we're local right now, but we also contribute around the world. So I just want to thank you again. Thank you, Matt, for getting us to this particular point and stabilizing the organization. I think I get to hand it over to, yes?
Yeah, we're going to choose Mayor Harvey as well, please.
Mayor Harvey.
Thanks, Paul. Let's give it up for Paul, President of the Habitat for Humanity Board, Matt Arbolino. Let's give him another hand. Come on, guys. I'd be remiss not to mention some of the members from my team, the City Council persons, Sklars, Martinez, Shakur, Also the local president of the NAACP chapter, Ray Harvey. Let's give them guys a hand as well. I see Mary McTammany, our city historian, is here. She's here with her husband. Our planning director of planning, Alexandra Church. Let's give her a shout out. I hope I didn't miss anyone, any of the elected officials, the dignitaries here. I want to say thank you for this wonderful occasion. And I mentioned Mary McTammany on purpose. Oh, Diane's here from Rhinebeck Bank. Let's give her a hand. We can't do anything without the bank and the money. Show me the money. But yes, Mary, our city historian, she's I've spent a lot of time with her and her office because this is history, right? Everyone knows I'm a history buff, right? Martinez, we love history, and we're making history in the city of Newburgh. This is a wonderful occasion. Anytime Habitat for Humanities is involved with providing affordable housing and home ownership, and making home ownership affordable, that's super important. I remember just a couple years ago, on the eve of the global pandemic, I don't want to say that too loud. On the eve of the pandemic, we celebrated a ribbon cutting on William Street where we made Habitat 100th house on William Street in the city of Newburgh, New York. And that was just a couple years ago. So they've been moving ever since then. And they are the longest standing partner in the housing game for the city of Newburgh. So let's give it up for that. I'd also be remiss not to say that, $2 million, Mackenzie Scott, thank you. Thank you. And that's the beginning. We need our local donors to step it up. And I say that respectfully because the rising cost of building homes, the rising cost of the supplies to build the homes, are on the upward trajectory, and that is because of the global challenges that we see happening, not only in the city of Newburgh, but around the world. We are a global economy, and we have a global perspective, and we have to keep those things in mind. So we need to continue to donate and get more funds for Habitat. They are not only the longest standing partner to the city of Newburgh in the housing game, but they are the most diligent, and they're getting things done. Anytime you can have new home ownership, first-time homeowners put in sweat equity and helping build the homes and taking the classes and learning more about money, banking, and finance, you're talking about wraparound services that these guys provide so that not only do we get new homeowners affordable, make it affordable, but also they know how to sustain themselves once they get in those homes. We're not going to talk about Central Hudson, but, we might need a new class on that because everybody's like, what with the Central Hudson bills? But to sustain themselves and being a new homeowner, a first-time homeowner, it's serious business, and you almost have to be a CPA, a certified public accountant, just to sustain yourself with